Friday here on the Fan. Edwin and Tiki for the next 4.5 hours. We'll get into the Giants, who try to get that interim coach bump as they take on the Green Bay Packers. The great Joe Beningo will join us at 4 o'clock. What Edwin Díaz said and didn't say last night that may give us some insight on his plans, and we'll make our NFL picks later as well. I'm going to use this word, Tiki Barber. I don't know if you're expecting this, but it's the big D. I am very disappointed.
Okay, that D.
Yes. I can't tell you I'm angry. I can't even tell you I'm mad. This is the thing I'll do to my kids. I think it's the thing you do with your kids. I'm disappointed.
Yes.
And I'm disappointed for like 15 reasons. And I actually wrote them down to keep my thoughts collected.
Oh, 15?
Yeah.
15 reasons?
Yeah. It was that kind of night.
Wow.
I'm disappointed, of course, that the Jets lost to the Patriots, but I'm disappointed in how it happened. I'm disappointed in the penalties. I'm disappointed over the last few weeks as the Jets showed, I guess, more buttoned-upness over the last few weeks, that went away. And it started right away when Justin Brownlee took Stephon Diggs to Suplex City, when they committed a penalty on special teams where the Jets set up at their own 7 instead of their own 35. Or how about this one? When there was 12 men on the field after a change of possession, or when there was an illegal contact by Brandon Stevens wiping out a Quincy Williams sack, or when Joe Tippmann was called for an unnecessary roughness penalty. Or how about this in terms of disappointment? Demario Douglas is down, and Justin Brownlee doesn't touch him, and that leads to 20 extra yards. I was disappointed in A.D. Mitchell. This was his first chance to show us something, and he showed us a little bit. He creates great separation, but how many drops could he have? Right. I'm disappointed in the coverage that sucked all night, and I'm disappointed in this quarterback who is not any good. But I'm not even disappointed as much in him as I am that this head coach didn't see what I said to you yesterday and what every Jet fan saw on a Thursday night, which is your best chance to win was to get him out of the game. So I gave you 100 reasons, Teak, to start. I'm not screaming. I'm not angry. I'm very disappointed in all of that and more, which led to a Jet loss to the Patriots.
Yeah, now you're talking about Justin Fields, and I think he's where you have to really start. You said this yesterday. I didn't think it would actually happen, that you would, at some point in the game, because of ineffectiveness, go to Tyrod Taylor, but there was a point where it felt like it was necessary. And this has nothing to do with Justin Fields' athleticism, because he is a extraordinarily athletic quarterback. In fact, that first drive was mostly on the legs of Justin Fields, and even the touchdown run, he should have handed it off. That was a zone read. He read it wrong and still scored a touchdown. And so his athleticism gives you an advantage. But in the NFL these days, eventually you're going to start getting 5-man fronts, and that's what the Patriots did. 3 down linemen, 5 techniques, a nose tackle, and two edge guys. You can't run the football. Even if you do have well-schemed zone reads, you're still not going to get anywhere. You have to be able to throw the football. And to me, I made the excuses a couple of weeks ago. Well, why wouldn't Tanner Inkstrand put him back in these 5 or 7 step drops? You just didn't see it again. So to me, it feels like there is a distrust of Justin Fields, and you're processing it in a different way than I'm processing it. But I'm looking at it saying this offense, this coordinator, this team doesn't trust Justin Fields unless you let him run the football.
Well, and I guess I would defend them by saying, would you? Because if you look at the 3 other drives after that, amazing opening drive, Justin Fields cost the Jets 2 first downs on the 3 drives with bad throws.
Yes.
And look, did he get help from A.D. Mitchell on that deep ball? No, that was actually a good throw, and Mitchell should have made the play. But on the drive before that, he missed A.D. Mitchell wide. On the drive after that, and this was the run right at the end of the first half, he threw the ball behind him, and he was open.
And that was a perfectly schemed route.
It was perfect, but it goes to that. Like, it was schemed perfectly, and to A.D. Mitchell's credit, he had such a weird debut because even though he only had 1 catch for 10 yards and had a bunch of drops, the dude got open.
I know.
Like, I give him credit along with the coach's credit. So I think when you look at the way the first half went and the way the second drive got stymied on a bad pass by Justin Fields, the way the fourth drive got stymied on a bad pass by Justin Fields, they're down 14-7 at the half. They were lucky on the missed field goal.
Yes.
They were lucky that they overcame some of those mistakes. That was the moment. That was the moment to say, you know what? And it would have fit exactly what I said yesterday on the show, where I said they'll be down 9-6 at the half, and they'll go to Tyrod Taylor. They were down 14-7 at the half.
It was a perfect opportunity.
And they should have gone to Tyrod Taylor. And it's not only about him, though I think that's the big thing people want to talk about. All the way around, I was just disappointed, man. They did a lot of little things wrong. And if you're going to win games when you're the less talented team, you can't make those mistakes. And it feels like a lot of the mistakes that Aaron Glenn did a really good job of eradicating over the last few weeks, mainly the mindless penalties, they came back. And it sucks, man.
Evan, here's the problem.
Go.
In your mind, you started to think that this team was taking steps towards being good. Mm-hmm. The problem is they're not good yet. They're just not. And good teams do everything that you saw before the bye week and the week after the bye week and those 2 wins. They do them consistently. This team just doesn't do it consistently. And until you can, you're not a good team. Part of that is talent. I can't chalk it up to coaching. We just haven't seen enough of it yet. But I think the team just isn't good enough yet. And in your mind, you want to convince yourself that after 2 straight wins, the discipline feels to be locking in. All these mantras that Aaron Glenn is preaching to this team, that it's going to stick and you're just going to see it every game day. It's not the case yet.
Yeah, but wait, hold on. Let me teach you something about football, Barber. I'm afraid how this is going to be responded, but is a 12 men on the field penalty.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And that's my point. Like, you're
that's
right.
Ridiculous.
You are right. They're not as talented as the New England Patriots.
I'm talking about execution. You're talking about, that's like delay a game after a penalty.
Well, but
what's worse?
That's where I think I'm mostly disappointed, because you're right. Like, talent-wise, I know they're not as good as New England, and maybe I did talk myself into thinking they could win this game or compete more than they actually did. It was those things that really gave me the disappointment. You're coming out of a break. There's 1:48 to go. The Pats have the ball at midfield after, of course, Justin Fields made that terrible pass behind A.D. Mitchell. Mm-hmm. And you get called for a 12-man on the field.
Right.
And then 3 plays later, you're about to get off the field because somehow it's a 3rd and 6. And Quincy Williams, who has responded to his benching, sacks Drake May. And what happens? An illegal contact on Brandon Stevens? Like, is that really talent, Take?
No. That's just discipline. It's being aware in the moment. But, it's interesting because you go back to the 12 men on the field after a break. So, you know how many, that takes a lot of layers of messing up. That's, yes. See, honestly.
Yes.
So it's the defensive staff that's in the booth, right? So you're coming onto the field. There's this, we always think just the offensive staff is in the booth. There's a defensive staff in the booth too. So they're looking down on the field and somebody's not counting. I promise you it's somebody's job to count. Nobody's counting. So that's 1. 2, whoever the defensive play caller was or the position play caller was, you got to know whether you're putting one or both guys in the field. And then 3, the player. If you're on the field and someone else is standing where you're supposed to be standing, leave. You know what? So the layers of misfunction on that one issue. And again, it just showed up one time, but still it was... Those are the things that kill you and frustrate you when you're playing a tight game against a team that you're worse than.
And that's what really frustrated me. Like, more than anything, and that's why I'm disappointed. Like, I don't think any Jet fan is necessarily angry. If we're angry, we're just angry at the whole thing. We're angry at where we are as a franchise. It's more when you sit down and watch a football game, and you've seen progress over the last few weeks. There's no denying that. We've pointed it out, how they've cut down on the mindless penalties, and you see so much of that. It's, I do kind of put it on Aaron Glenn. He's the head coach.
Right.
Like, I put it on somebody. When Quincy Williams sacks Drake May, and all of a sudden we get an illegal contact, how is it even possible when Quincy Williams sacks Drake May in literally less than a second? He came in unblocked. There was no time for there to be an illegal contact. Like, I'm screaming at the TV, how did he even have time to illegally contact him? Quincy Williams sacked him within a second. And I apologize. I promised I wouldn't raise my voice, but that's where I get frustrated. It's the stupidness. And then the number one thing, this probably is number one the more I think about it. They are down 24-14. There's 8 minutes to go. And I know most people watching this game say it's over. I think, you know what? Still have a shot.
Yeah.
And Justin Fields drops the snap.
Yep.
Can't pick it up. Doesn't fall on the football.
Just jump on it.
Just jump on it, bro. And he gives it right back to New England. Like, Those are the mindless mistakes that as a fan, man, I'm just so sick of. Lose because you're not as good. And I think if you say, well, the Jets lost because they're not as good, I don't think you're being fair to actually what happened last night. Yeah, they're not as good, but what about all this other crap? I didn't see the Patriots do it because they're a buttoned-up, well-coached team, and that's where this team's got to get. And here we are 10 weeks into the year, and I thought there was progress, bro. I felt like they were moving in the right direction, and then you get a cavalcade of crap.
Here's why that drop snap by Justin Fields frustrated me. 10-point game. 12.5 point spread.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. That's why.
You weren't the only one, I'm sure. Sure, Al Michaels thought the same thing.
Like, are you kidding me?
But it also, I know I wouldn't have said this today, I promise. Like, if the Jets would have lost the heartbreaker, I still would have had different frustrations.
Right.
But I wanted them to be in this game, and they sort of were. And when Justin Fields puts that ball on the ground and gets multiple opportunities to just fall on it, it ended the game. And they legitimately had a chance to at least make this bad boy interesting. And he just, I don't know, he fumbled it away, no pun intended. And it was almost the perfect exclamation point, not just for his horrible night, but really everything top to bottom. And then it goes back to Glenn even having him in the game. I mean, to me, it was a no-brainer to take him out at halftime.
This is the turning point for me where I look at Aaron Glenn and this whole issue that he's having with the media. Most of it has been around the quarterback. Who's your starting quarterback this week? And for the last 2 or 3 weeks, Evan, you've heard me say it, he's just having fun. We know it's Justin Fields. He's joking with these guys. He's making light or putting some levity into a weird and / obvious situation. But now I don't think it's not a joking moment anymore.
No.
This is a real conversation that he needs to have with him and his staff, because if Justin Fields is going to put you in position to lose, I know you're paying him $20 million. I know he's got $10 million guaranteed to next year. You have to seriously contemplate what's best for your team and the psyche of your team. Because when your quarterback is playing losing football, that's when everybody starts to get frustrated. That's when you start, let's play Tyrod instead. And as soon as you get that division, forget it, man. You're pulling in 2 different directions.
Yeah, and I think that may have started last night. Because if you are anyone on this team, except for A.D. Mitchell, he's the one person that can't say a word. And credit to A.D. Mitchell. He, after the game, he called himself out. He knows he had a bad debut. And oddly, I was almost a little encouraged by him because you could see where the potential lies with him. Yeah. Unfortunately, you got to catch the football, especially when you're a wide receiver. But if you're on that team and at halftime, you don't see a quarterback change, when a couple of little plays changes everything about that first half. I mean, when you look at that opening drive, and I said something very graphic to Tiki via text message about the opening drive, basically I'll describe it as how it made my body feel, would be the way I would describe it. Is that accurate?
Yes, an aroused feel.
It was that good. After that, when you say, well, what happened on the next 3 possessions, the true answer is Justin Fields happened. Because if he makes a pass to A.D. Mitchell that isn't wide, they're set up with a first down at midfield on possession number 2. Yep. If he makes a pass on a wide-open A.D. Mitchell again on a 3rd and 2, they're set up to at least at the minimum run the clock out prior to the Patriots missing that field goal. And so what happened that caused the offense to do nothing was unfortunately the quarterback. And it doesn't mean he's the only problem. He's not the only thing I'm disappointed about if you've listened to everything we've said. It's the biggest problem because he's the quarterback.
And it's also because this is his moment, like to create trust in him for us as a fan base, as evaluating media from a team standpoint. This is his chance, and he's not taking advantage of it. In fact, he's blowing it, to be perfectly honest with you. We keep talking about what are you doing at the top of the draft next year, Jets, and I mean every game like this makes it more and more obvious that he's not the answer.
No question, and he's not the answer even in the short term during a 2-8 season. More on Justin Fields and what was said about him after last night's performance. Plus, we'll get to your phone calls at 888-808-1019. We'll get you set for Giants-Packers. Got a lot to do on a very busy Football Friday live from the Town Fair Tire Studios.